Ocean Quest. Once upon a time, deep beneath the sparkling waves of the Blue Sapphire Sea, there lived a little green turtle named Tilly. Tilly wasn't like the other turtles in Coral Cove. While her friends loved to nibble on seagrass and nap under the warm sun, Tilly's heart fluttered with curiosity. She dreamed of exploring the vast ocean, discovering its secrets, and meeting creatures from faraway places. Her shiny shell, speckled with tiny golden spots, seemed to glow brighter every time she thought of adventure. One bright morning, as the sunlight danced through the water, Tilly overheard Old Barnacle, the wisest crab in Coral Cove, telling a story to the young fish far beyond the Deep Kelp Forest. He said, his voice low and mysterious, lies the Starlight Coral, a magical reef that glows like the night sky. It's said that anyone who finds it will discover a treasure that makes the heart sing. Tilly's eyes widened. A treasure, a glowing reef. She knew right then that she had to find the Starlight Coral. Tilly, you're too small for such a journey, her best friend, Finn the flounder, warned as she shared her plan. Finn's flat body shimmered nervously. The ocean is big, and there are scary things out there. But Tilly wasn't afraid. I may be small, she said, puffing out her chest, but my heart is big, and I'm ready for an adventure. So, with a tiny seaweed satchel packed with a few seagrass snacks, Tilly waved goodbye to Coral Cove and swam toward the unknown. The ocean stretched endlessly before her, its waves whispering secrets. As she paddled through the swaying seagrass meadows, colorful fish darted around her, their scales flashing like rainbows. Be careful, little turtle, chirped a school of tiny silver fish. The Deep Kelp Forest is tricky. Tilly thanked them with a smile and kept going, her flippers moving steadily. Soon she reached the edge of the Deep Kelp Forest. The tall, dark kelp swayed like giant trees, casting eerie shadows. Tilly's heart thumped, but she remembered her dream. I can do this, she whispered, and swam into the forest. The water grew cooler, and strange sounds echoed around her whistles, clicks, and soft hums. Suddenly, a long slithery shape loomed ahead. It was Slinky, the sea snake with eyes like shiny pebbles. Who dares enter my forest? Slinky hissed, coiling around the kelp stalk. Tilly gulped but stood her ground. I'm Tilly, and I'm looking for the Starlight Coral, she said bravely. Slinky blinked, surprised by her courage. He said, softening. I like your spirit, little turtle, but the forest is a maze. Answer my riddle, and I'll show you the way. Tilly nodded. Ready? Slinky's voice grew sly. I'm tall when I'm young, but short when I'm old. What am I? Tilly thought hard. She looked at the kelp around her, then at her own shell. Suddenly, it hit her. A candle, she exclaimed. It's tall when it's young and newly made, but short when it's old and burned down. Slinky grinned. Clever turtle, follow me. Slinky led Tilly through the twisting kelp, pointing out hidden paths. As they swam, he shared stories of the ocean's wonders, glowing jellyfish, singing whales and corals that danced with the tides. Tilly listened, enchanted, her fear fading. At the forest's edge, Slinky waved goodbye. Keep going, Tilly. The Starlight Coral is closer than you think. Tilly swam on, her flippers aching but her spirit soaring. The ocean floor sloped downward, and soon she entered a wide sandy valley dotted with strange, spiky creatures. It was the sea urchin plains. A spiky urchin named Prickles rolled toward her. Hey, turtle, you look lost, he said, his spines quivering. Tilly explained her quest, and Prickles clapped his spines. The Starlight Coral, that's beyond the bubble caves, but the caves are full of tricky currents. Want my help? Tilly nodded gratefully. Prickles led her to the bubble caves, where bubbles rose like floating pearls, and strong currents swirled. Hold tight to my spines, Prickles said. Tilly grabbed on, and together they zipped through the caves, dodging rocks and weaving through bubbles. The currents tried to pull them off course, but Prickles was nimble, and Tilly held on tight. At last they emerged into calm waters. Thanks, Prickles, Tilly said, her eyes shining. Prickles blushed under his spines. Aw, just keep being brave, Tilly. You're almost there. With a wave, he rolled back to the plains. Tilly swam on, her heart pounding with excitement. The water grew warmer, and tiny specks of light floated around her, like stars in the sea. She followed them, and suddenly, there it was, the Starlight Coral. It was more beautiful than she'd imagined. The reef glowed with every color of the rainbow, its corals twinkling like a sky full of stars. Fish of all shapes and sizes swam around it, their scales reflecting the light in dazzling patterns. Tilly swam closer, her breath catching. At the center of the reef stood a small shimmering shell, glowing softly. She reached out and touched it. The shell opened and a warm golden light spilled out, wrapping Tilly in a feeling of joy and peace. It wasn't gold or jewels, it was something better. The treasure was a song, a melody that filled her heart with love for the ocean and all its creatures. As she listened, the fish around her began to sing, their voices blending in a chorus that echoed through the reef. Tilly closed her eyes, letting the song sink into her soul. She realized the treasure wasn't something to take, it was something to share. She swam back to the reef's edge, the song still humming inside her. I'll bring this back to Coral Cove, she decided. Everyone should hear it. The journey home was easier, as if the ocean itself was guiding her. She passed the bubble caves, waving to Prickles, and glided through the Deep Kelp Forest, where Slinky gave her a proud nod. When she finally reached Coral Cove, her friends gathered around. Wide-eyed Tilly, you're back, Finn cried. Did you find the Starlight Coral? Tilly smiled and closed her eyes. She began to hum the song she'd learned, and as she did, the water around her seemed to glow. The fish, crabs, and turtles of Coral Cove listened, enchanted. The song spoke of courage, kindness, and the beauty of the ocean. It brought them closer, filling their hearts with warmth. From that day on, Tilly wasn't just a curious little turtle, she was a storyteller. Every evening, she'd share the song of the Starlight Coral, adding new verses about her adventures. The children of Coral Cove would gather around, their eyes sparkling, dreaming of their own journeys. And so, Tilly's quest became a legend in the Blue Sapphire Sea. The Starlight Coral's treasure wasn't something you could hold, it was a gift you carried in your heart, shared with friends, and passed on to light up the world. Tilly learned that the greatest adventures weren't just about finding something new, but about bringing it home to make everyone's world a little brighter. As the moon rose over Coral Cove, Tilly tucked herself into her cozy shell. Smiling, the ocean whispered goodnight, and she dreamed of her next adventure, knowing the sea was full of wonders waiting to be explored. The end.